Oh, what's going on, guys? That's the best thing I've seen from Saturday Night Live in forever. when they slide the Beto postcard under and they all scream. Oh, unbelievable. What is going on, friends? Hey, back in the evening, ready to hang out. Let's talk. We got so much to go over tonight. It is just one of the craziest days I've seen in a long time, but look at all these peeps already in here. Beautiful. Beautiful. George P. first. Fro Girl second. Alan and Gretchen third, fourth, somewhere in there. Welcome, guys. Look at all you beautiful people. I enjoyed my vacation. Thank you, Linda. Rough day for all of us. Yeah, I mean, Finger definitely was rough today for sure. Play end of quote. No, with GTI. Oh yeah, the Biden part. That was funny too. I almost played that, but the that Saturday Night Live skit was pretty unreal. It's so good. So funny. It literally just had me busting up. So I wanted to share that one because, again, that Beto part made me laugh so much. Just too funny. What's going on? Moody, Roger, Robert, Allen, Superhero, Pet Shigoya, Drew Savala, BB's in the house, Richie Rich. It's been a while. It's good to see you, Richie. I always remember you, Richie Rich. It's hard to forget. Criteau, Robert, Armand. Look at all these beautiful people. Brian, Troy, Cindy Lou, Doug Peterson, The One, Hobbs. Love it. Donna. What is? I didn't get to listen to Richard's thing on GTII, so hopefully it's some good stuff. R. Will from the Philippines. Welcome. Patrice, what's going on? Dubois in the house. How you feeling, buddy? Al, you finally made it back. Good to see you. Robert Hicks, Squire. Awesome. Alan, Roger, Adventures. Love it. I don't know about that. Mike, Kryptonian, Tom, MFP. Love it, guys. It's good to see you all. I did do a couple lives this weekend, but I know it's not the same as... Mic on? All right, I think I'm back. Okay. Sorry about that. The my mic got hit. Anyways, am I back? Sorry, I dinged my mic, knocked it out. Anyways, that was a Saturday Night Live skit, hilarious. I shared on my Twitter, just super funny. And can you hear me now? Let me know if I'm back. Somebody let me know I'm back. I'm registering sound here. Okay, I'm back. Good. Excellent. Alrighty. Anyways, let's talk. We got lots to talk about tonight. We got Roaring Kitty going crazy. We got GameStop, Chewy, DJT, Finger, Supreme Court, Biden, Trump. It was an absolutely nutso day. We got some stock market news, economy news to go over, just how things are going bad. So I have a lot to cover. And you guys, I want to know, like, I did do 3 short videos earlier just to go over some things quickly. So obviously Q&A is good too. So any questions, comments you guys have, I want to go through all that as well. But what's up, Jordan? What's the rundown of Fingers? Earnings good. Earnings was not good, but I will tell you, if you guys listened to Martin, the CEO, with William the other day, he broke it down pretty well why it was an issue. And it made sense to me. He said the thing that I took to heart that I thought was very encouraging actually is that they knew they were going to be facing this hard quarter, and so they made adjustments, came up with new revenue streams, and were still able to turn a profit for the quarter. So that was huge. To me, that was huge. So I thought it was 7 p.m. Eastern, but anyways, we'll catch Knott tomorrow. I'm sure he's got interesting stuff on GTII. But NO in the house. Okay. Everybody says I'm good. You're out of GameStop too. No McDonald's for you. Yeah, listen. I'm watching GameStop close, but to me, it's a long-term hold play right now and not for a squeeze. So let's pull these up real quick. Let's look at everything. All right, GTII actually finished up today, which was surprising. It was getting hammered earlier. Finger got reamed today. Reamed. And really on no news either. That earnings report came out last week. On Friday. So maybe today was just the free fall from that. I think it was a short attack, honestly. I think they just saw that the earnings were rough. It was still profitable though, so it wasn't horrible. But anyways, they used it as an opportunity to just crush it, and here we are. I mean, just had a horrible day. But I tell you what, guys, I mean, I'm looking at how I can start accumulating more at this price, because to me, this is an awesome opportunity to get in at a low price, get my cost average down. To me, nothing's changed on Finger. I'm still extremely excited. That interview he did with William just got me very amped. So I don't think there's anything to worry about on Finger. I really don't. I get what's going on. Right now, people are upset. People are worried. People are scared. Everybody's coming. Like, you guys notice these things come in phases, okay? And we went through a phase where everything rocketed last summer. Finger was going nuts. It seemed like it was going to happen. And then they calmed it down. It didn't happen. And then we entered this slow period. And during that slow period, over 6 or so months, people started getting like excited again and allowing themselves to build up and think about it. And then the summer hits. And then the summertime, life kind of slows down for a lot of people. People go outside more. They start, but they have time to think, and they start kind of reevaluating life because that new freshness of the spring is gone. And now it's like, okay, like what do I want? What am I looking for? What am I hoping changes? People start thinking of change in the summertime. Reset and rethink. And I notice this every year that I've been around all this now. It's in the summertime seems to be when people really start freaking out about stuff. And now we got Finger getting hit. We're still waiting on the dividend. And I see a lot of people just losing hope. And then obviously the GTII stuff has not helped, but that's been down for a while. And now it's starting to move towards Finger because we don't like seeing Finger down at this area. And it gets scary and it gets hard. And everybody's just starting to lose their cool. Not, I say everybody. That's not fair. Not everybody. It's actually not that many people. But a few people are. They're loud, though. And so it feels like a lot. So, yeah, I get it. It's hard. And GameStop was supposed to run. It didn't. And now Kitty might even be out of it. And we don't know that for sure. But I'm going to show you some things why I think he might be. And I think Ryan Cohen just used the opportunity to make the company a bunch of cash, which is great long term, but bad short term. And, I get it, guys. I get it. But do you realize like how much good is going on like in everything else? And so if the stock market is like this right now and it's sucky, well, we can make plans. We can do things here. We can accumulate Finger at this low price and build up. I sold my GameStop. Okay, I'm not telling you guys to do that. I'm saying that's what I did because I wanted to get into DJT. And DJT is looking really good right now. It's bouncing back just like I thought it was going to. And I expect more from that. But this is a time where, you like sit back, think about your priorities, think about what you want to do, think about how you feel about stuff, but do back up and actually process things. Don't make emotional decisions. Don't get scared off. Don't, because I tell you what, usually when you make an emotional decision, whether it's in euphoric, where you're like chasing in a good way and you're happy, or if it's because you're feeling depressed and down, that's usually when people make the worst decisions, just saying. So to me, none of this is affecting me. Maybe it's because I just came off vacation and I'm able to just slow down and think through. Maybe it's just because I'm hyped about what the Supreme Court's been doing. I love every second of it. I love what's going on in the election right now. Maybe that's why I'm in a good mood. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, I'm not worried. I'm not worried, guys. Okay. I think there's a lot of good things coming here. But I'll tell you what, I mean, I've been losing subscribers. I've been losing like stuff on Twitter. And I'm like, all I'm doing is being real. And I'm not doing anything different than I've ever been. But there's a lot of grumpy people right now. A lot of grumpy people. So, but we'll see how it happens. With the Chevron doctrine eliminated, will the SEC get affected? Yes. And it also got affected by the other case with Charkezy. The SEC is effectively still able to regulate and look over stuff. But now in order to go after people with fines or shut them down, they're going to have to take them to court, which, it sucks because it slows things down, but it's actually a good thing. And this is why. SEC and all these other governmental agencies never should have had this much power in the first place, apart from Congress and the judiciary and everything. It just should not have. It should never have happened. It's very un-American. Number two, now Wall Street, how many times have we seen the SEC find something and they find like Ken Griffin, who's worth, $45 billion. They find Citadel, I don't know, 10 million. And everybody claps. Yeah, they got him. They're showing them what's up. And we all are like, that's a drop in the bucket. That doesn't hurt them at all. And so this is good because what it does is that now they could go to a jury trial. All right. And the SEC brings all this evidence and the jury can slap them with a $10 billion fine. That's what I'm talking about. So the SEC is just not going to be able to play the way it used to play. And since it wasn't helping us anyways, it's all good. Klay Thompson went to the Mavericks. Wow, that's crazy. I thought he'd go to the Lakers for sure, like his dad. Oh, well. The one buying 1,000 shares of Finger tomorrow. Love it. Dog, so tired of losing, which I'd never invested in dead stocks. Hope to get back 50. It does suck, dogs, and I'm sorry for that. It does. But, we made decisions and we took risks. And to me, that risk it's yet to be evaluated whether it was worth it or not. I don't think it's done by any means at all. The cryptic emojis show GameStop's going to explode in 5 weeks. That is about what it is right now, isn't it? X1 earnings for Finger aftermarket Friday underwhelming, self-expected. You sold your bag time being for, well, I'm sure other people did too. Saber's buying more tomorrow. Frank Zara, whatever China opportunity you have needs to be big. In your opinion, needs to have teeth in it. If other revenue streams are unreliable, even more important. Oh yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Armand Lucasians, you're new, welcome. DJT News. So Monday is an add to the Russell Index as part of their annual reconstitute. Interesting. We'll see what that does tomorrow. Fingers looking to raise capital, hurt the stock today. And cell phone insurance isn't mandatory in China. All this hurts. It does, but it also doesn't take away the opportunity in Finger. So GameStop at a loss says toe cramp had to be done to move things up, make the diff. Absolutely. What did I think of Biden's speech today? I didn't even watch it. What did he talk about? Can I go back to be by ice and not economics? Gretchen, what are you talking about? I've always gone on my rants. What are you talking about? That's part of the show. Tom, you're removed from my Patreon, refunded for suspicious activity? What? Well, that's weird. I'll have to go look into that. Huh. Okay. Saber says I need the life coach right now. Listen, guys, I am who I am. I'm always going to jump back and forth into all this stuff. So we'll have to look into the mandatory thing for the insurance because I'm seeing multiple things here. I feel like with the new rulings, SEC will have less incentive to do their job. Rumdog, what incentive do they have in the first place? That's the problem, right? I mean, Wall Street is completely regulated by a an agency that's completely in bed with the hedge funds. Completely in bed with the hedge funds. So the hedge funds run the SEC because the SEC wants to jump in and get those jobs with them all the time. So they're already not motivated to do anything. They're not. This whole thing, and so in my opinion, the more the corruption, like the less power they have, the better. Because it should, like, it becomes where the judicial system is going to have to look over it. Law enforcement will have to look over it more. It's like break down the SEC more and more and make it more of a standard. Like, let's just simplify everything. Instead of having all these 3-letter agencies everywhere that just cause more harm than good, that just mess things up all the time, that are completely unfair and completely politically motivated half the time, let's just break it all up. And let's just start over with something simpler. Let's make Congress pass some actual laws instead of turning it over to regulatory agencies. And let's make them enforce it with law enforcement. And there we go. And I think, yes, in the midterm, the short term, it'll be a little sucky, but overall it'll be better. So finally meet your cap on the market. No cap. Home run. If they don't know it, no need to make an issue. I get it. But not everybody's as strong as you, Gretchen. Hulkamaniac, you check out my Patreon tomorrow. Uncle Gary said, "Saul, that's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, please do. I owe you guys a class I'm actually behind this week, anyways. Trump needs to make a 3-letter agency. Univest could come in without notice, expire the contract. They're a wild card. They are, and they still have 2.5 months. So, do I think the Chevron doctrine ruling has potential impact significant SEC regulations? Of course it does, because now those regulations cannot just be. They have to be interpreted by judges, which is a good thing because that makes it harder for the SEC to let certain people out and be. So, mic out again? I'm not showing that, guys. You might want to if you're having trouble with my mic right now. I'm showing it good, and I didn't bump it this time, so maybe it was a glitch. But anyways, guys, I'm excited about all these. Like, volume's down a little bit. DJT, I still think things are coming for there. Finger volume right here up today, up almost 1 million. That is all shorting and selling. I almost can guarantee it. I saw today too. GameStop, to me, people aren't liking this Chewy news, in my opinion. They're just not liking this Chewy news. And so I think there's just a sell-off going on in GameStop. When your guy, Roaring Kitty, comes back like he's saving the day. There we go. All right, weird. I didn't even touch it. Yeah, I just messed with the cord, so hopefully that does it. Anyways, all right. So I think people are just selling out. They're scared. Roaring Kitty has just, well, let's go here. Okay, let me go through a couple things here. Here, I thought this was really interesting. It's funny, I saw this after I did my video earlier. Okay, and after I did my video earlier, I was going through Twitter, and this came. Am I back now? Is that better? All right. Good. Okay. Anyways. All right. So I came across this and I thought this is exactly the first thought I had when I saw it, and other people are seeing it too. So it says, someone sent me a theory of what's going on with GameStop and Chewy. Think it might make sense. Read in order the first picture, then second. Would really be curious. I think this makes sense. So, well, sorry guys, it's not, you're not going to see it as well as me. But when DFV sold, that's Roy and Kitty, said on his live stream he's willing to wait to see what GameStop does with cash, what the turnaround plan is. Later, shareholder meeting took place. RC made it clear only plan to keep cutting costs, trying to make existing business profitable, expanding in collectibles. RC specifically downplayed the idea of big acquisition. I told you he's holding cash to get through whatever's coming in the market. He knows a recession's coming. Making clear there's no plan for that. After the meeting, June 17th, DFV posted John McEnroe meme, which is from a moment of saying, "You've got to be effing kidding me." Then 90 minutes later, he posts a sad-looking green face from Bruno. Look at the volume on GameStop from June 17th post-meeting. DFV led the sell down. Next. Look at the volume on Chewy on June 18th, one day later when his funds settled. Big volume, big buys. He accumulated most of his position here in the low 20s, potentially accumulated more in the following weeks, but what pushed him over the filing requirement was a 17 million share buyback Chewy did last week of their Class A, and now he's forced to file, which we saw today, which is the other day. To recap, he was disappointed with Cohen, and the meeting sold afterwards, posted a meme 90 minutes later showing he still profited but not pleased about it, began accumulating Chewy, and the buyback forced him to have to file 13G because it pushed him over 5%. This, to me, sounds like the most probable answer. He got in. He was stoked, thought the squeeze was coming. Cohen did back-to-back offerings. So, in my opinion, I do think it's very possible that Kitty and Cohen were not in this together. Cohen just, as, you know, listen, he did this with BBBY. He just jumped in and sold when it was running. He looks out for himself first. And, you know, he's orchestrated short squeeze, been a part of this, but obviously it's not about retail. And listen, to accumulate what Kitty did for this, it was very expensive, very expensive. $150 million or so, $200 million. That's, I mean, you're talking about a guy who is worth just over $250 million from that GameStop shares. To me, this makes a lot of sense. There's no proof. I don't have proof this is real. Okay. But I'm telling you that, to me, the fact that 3 years, 3.5 years actually, all we heard from Kitty when he was around was GameStop, 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 3 years. And then all of a sudden he has to go public with Chewy, with his new investment. To me, that is, he's out, in my opinion. Doesn't mean he won't get back in or anything, but to me, seems absolutely like he's out. And, you know, I'm going to just say it. Like, you know who was right in all this was Ham. Ham was absolutely right. Said there'd be a run. They would get money from it. They would sell, do an offering, and then it would die. And so he was completely there. Now, I don't blame Kitty for this at all. He was smart. I think he really was trying to get a squeeze out of it from what it looks like on his posts and everything. And to me, the most interesting of all, it does seem like Cohen and Kitty were opposite of each other. So Johnny thought I was crazy thinking he pivoted to Chewy or Eating Crow. You was right. Well, thank you for admitting that. I'm not always right, okay? But when I am, it's good to be right. You still like the stock, Tommy? Moody, did I see AOC wants to impeach SCOTUS? Yeah, I did. She's ridiculous. If you jiggle it more than 3 times, you're playing with it. Daryl says Kitty isn't out of GameStop. Watch. Even if he did sell it all, it's not enough to buy what he bought in Chewy. GameStop going to have a good pop. Looking at the Bollinger Bands for it. Maybe it will. Maybe it will. I hope it does. But we'll see what happens there. I'm not as confident as you are. I mean, it still might bounce back because of the shareholder base still being strong, but I don't think it'll be because of him. Gary, it's okay to have a good look on Finger. Telling people the truth about what's going on in the company should be a bad thing. should be a bad thing or shouldn't be? Should know as much as possible, make an informed decision I'm holding. If he has 9 million shares of Chewy, he sold more than half his GameStop. Absolutely. I mean, that's the only other way he couldn't do it is if it wasn't his money. I mean, it's crazy. Here, let me pull this up. If Roaring Kitty didn't sell his GameStop position, how did he acquire 250 million worth of Chewy with only 6 million in cash? I mean, right? That's what he had in cash, 6 million. This is a guy who had 50 grand 3.5 years ago, is trading with 58 grand he started in GameStop. I mean, you don't go from 58 grand to $250 million and be able to just pull a bunch of other cash. He's done this all by his trading. Okay. All by like the way he moved on GameStop and everything and whatever else he's done over the years. But you don't go from that like to where he is now, where he's literally, multi-million. You guys just try to fathom the difference in your life. If you go from 60 grand in your trading account to 250 million, it's unreal. But again, it's not like people are just handing you money to do this. You would have to sell. And that's what I'm thinking. Like, this is exactly what it looks like to me. I'm not getting in Chewy. I'm not. So just Mike, you bought more GameStop today. Listen, I'm not saying it's 100% on anything. Okay. I'm not saying 100% anything. If you still listen, you guys just listen to what I say and then make your own decisions. I could completely be wrong on this, but I'm just looking at what's out there. All right. Lovestar says, doubt Kitty sold GameStop because of a share offering as a net benefit for GameStop in the long term. We'll see, man. I don't know, because he can always get back in. That's the thing. He could always get back in. GTI is done now, too. I don't think GTI is done, but we need to see what Knott says tomorrow. You're in, Chewy? Okay. You would put a lot of money that he holds all his GameStop. But the problem is how did he get all that other cash? I don't think Kitty screwed the squeeze. I never said that. How did he get the cash? That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, so he has other accounts. He turned 60 grand into 250 million on GameStop. Do you think this guy is such a great trader that he had he took another 5-10 grand that he had on the side when he started and turned that into another 200 million? I just don't, how? I'm sorry, you just don't do that. He had 18 million, 25 million after the first squeeze in 2021. You just don't turn that into 400, 500 million in 2 or 3 years unless you catch a squeeze. You just don't. So I just don't see where he got that other money. Cohen should be in jail for pump and dumping BBBY. K should be as well. Remember, the SEC let Cohen off the hook after he did that second offering for BBBY. So that, that's interesting too. I don't have any news on GDC and ZJYL, the one. I'm sorry, I don't. Moody says, if I made 250 million, inclined to keep my mouth shut. I know, me too. Exactly. Popter said, let the piggies. You're not sure you got the cats. You have a few ideas. Yeah. I think he had to have sold out, and he might. It's not saying he won't get back in, but to me, listen, I'm just playing devil's advocate to you guys, saying he's still in, but I'm also just looking at the actual facts of the numbers here, because that's all we have. We have the numbers of what he's bought. We don't have any other indications of what he's been doing. But I'm telling you, this guy, who we all know, his story, thanks to dumb money and all this other stuff that's been out there, 58 grand in 2020, 25 million 2021, 2024, 250 million. And if he didn't sell and he bought Chewy with other money, 400 million. Do you know how hard that is to do without running a crazy business that took off? Do you know how hard that is to do just by trading? That's nuts, guys. That's nuts. I just don't see how that could have happened there. So, yeah, the lawsuit against him was dismissed. I was talking about Cohen. You want to call it 3+ year long a great day trade or anything? He made a cheat because of share buyback to run the price. Doesn't have to worry about share dilution like GameStop. Yeah, I think you're right on that. Yeah, that would make sense. What's up, ESK? Now he's trying to pump Chewy like he did. I am not touching Chewy. I'll just tell you that right now. And maybe I'll miss out on a run, but I'm okay with that. I just won't touch it. He could have well used his thesis for more than GameStop's the same basket. Doesn't look good that he kept GameStop. Yeah, I'm just telling you what I think, and you guys make your own decisions. Yeah, he's in for. Listen, you should be in it for yourself. He owes nobody anything. He really doesn't. Okay, he does not owe anybody anything. I'm not talking bad on the dude. I'm not. I'm just saying that he gets valorized as some great hero of retail when the truth is he's just made some great trades. That's what it really comes to. So you get all your dog's foods and meds from Chewy, great customer. Well, there you go. Unless you're investing the last 3 years, not kitty style, he's increased his holdings from 10G to 9 million. That is insane. That is insane. Cohen ruined his plan with GameStop to pump the stock again with share dilution, so he jumped Chewy as a dig to Cohen most likely. Interesting. Was Chewy what Cohen was originally in? I forgot about that. Is that the one he built up? I knew it was a pet one. Today I don't touch it, tomorrow's another. Listen, it's about making money, right? So yeah, decisions can always be changed. But I mean, look at this. I mean, Chewy crashed 30% after his SEC filing. GameStop shares are down 8% on the news. So now it's all getting killed. Like, we'll see if it stays that way, but it's all kind of just falling apart for the Roaring Kitty train. So I should talk about how he pumped and dumped retail. No one else to admit. Well, I will say this. Ridden too low. I don't think he pumped and dumped. I think he pumped, and he did get the stock up to 77 again, and then he got it back up to 67 again, and then Ryan Cohen cut out his legs and all of GameStop's legs with 2 offerings back to back. So I don't know if he knew about that or was a part of that. So I'm not going to blame Kitty for that. But if people played it right and actually sold to make profits, which most retail does not, because retail is not seasoned traders, they don't think like that. They're all holding for 300 to 500 a pop, and since they didn't make any profits on that sucks. But that we can't put that on Kitty. What's the move tomorrow? I don't know. What do you think? Chewy was first. Okay. Chewy was first. That is very interesting. Apple Care no-go for now. Made some gnarly trades for a sitcom. Yeah, you really did. So thank you, Kim. Yeah, please like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Okay, I got a couple other things here on real quick, and then we'll move over from the old... we'll move over from the Roaring Kitty stuff. Or maybe that was the last one. I thought I had one more. So here it is. Imagine if Keith Gill sold 9 million GameStop, bought Chewy as a massive FU to Ryan Cohen for screwing him over. Would publicly disclosing on July 4th that he dumped his entire GameStop position, send retail panicking, collapse of GameStop, and send Chewy rocketing. I can't see that happening. That would be nuts. But this is funny, the emoji map. We are here. And then there's this right here. So I don't know. Wouldn't that be nuts though if there was a July 4th thing that said he sold? That would. If I will say that if he puts it out there that he sold his GameStop, he's out, that will crush the GameStop stock. There are thousands and thousands of people holding GameStop just because they think Roaring Kitty still is. That's it. He is their guiding light on this. And so if that really happens, yeah, GameStop is... I'm glad I sold last week at 24, guys, and bought DJT. I have no regrets of getting back into DJT. I really like in a bigger way. So it is nuts. And then there's one other theory that GameStop will buy Chewy. This is some people are saying, and it just doesn't make any sense. Keith and Ryan would be sued in oblivion for insider trading. GameStop doesn't have enough access to enough capital unless they do another massive dilution. GameStop needs money, not debt, to survive the recession, which is exactly pretty much what Cohen said. So I just don't see that happening, merger. So July 4th is the Kansas City Shuffle. Okay, so the theory still lives. Interesting. The theory still lives there. All right. You like that mushroom emoji on here? Where's that? Where's the mushroom? Oh, right there. It's like, what's it called? Looks like the toadstools in Mario. Yeah, I mean, listen, GameStop already has just been trying to stay above 20. It has just been trading between 23 25 the last few days. Just no real momentum there at all. And this is just because people are holding, and maybe some people are accumulating at a lower level. But if he announces it's sold, this, I think GameStop could go down to $10. So that would be crazy. That would be absolutely crazy. GameStop might buy Chewy after the crash. Yeah, we'll see. And look left on Kansas City Shuffle. George, you were in Chewy in 2020 before COVID in the 20s. Sold in December 2020 for 96. Dang, good catch, man. Good catch. What's that, dogs? Nope on what? But we'll see what happens, guys. This is all me speculating. So obviously not financial advice. You guys do your own decisions on that, all of that. But listen, just be wary I'm not giving advice buy or selling, but I am saying, like, my opinion is be very wary right now of GameStop, because it is so tied to this guy. It is so tied to Roaring Kitty right now because of everything that just happened in GameStop, that it just, if there's any bad news that comes out from him, it will crash. It'll crash. So I think Kitty's gearing up to take down Kenny Boy so he can become the new Kenny Kitty Boy. Good luck taking down Ken Griffin with $250,000. And, I don't see that happening. Pokemon catch 'em all. He's Pikachu. Bitcoin spiked some today on fake news. Founder of Dell Computers is going to do a big Bitcoin. Really? GameStop at 10 would be interesting. I'll say that. Because I do think overall Cohen could do something interesting with it long term. I still think GameStop could do something long term. I really do. On a positive note, you still got MMTLP to look forward to. Oh, God. I feel so bad for the MMTLP people. Hopefully something happens there soon. PetSmart owns Chewy now. They bought from Cohen. That's how he started RC Capital. Okay, interesting. Buy more GameStop. Yeah, what is it about the yield spiking today? Let me pull that up. So 10-year Treasury yield to the highest level today since May. But what's not, it wasn't, in May it was way up here. Okay, and it's been down, 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 and then just a random spike up. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I can tell you this, though. Japan, it might have something to do with what's going on here. Japanese yen collapse continues as it falls to new 38-year low against the dollar. Is this volatility being seen in Japan, and so people are rushing into the bonds? I don't know, but Japan is a good indicator. I mean, look at this, guys. This is 87, this part of the chart right here, okay, up till now. I mean, that's crazy. 38-year low against the dollar. People are watching Japan, okay? If Japan crashes, it's going to have a massive effect on our stock market. So, yeah, I think there's a lot to watch here. Biden's working on a victory speech after being told July 4th is a celebration for winning the election. Is Jill going to be there again? You did it, Joe. You answered every question. You knew all the facts. So stupid. Unbelievable. AMC, you think he's going into AMC next? Oh, God. Martin said something about SEC needed financial core update from Finger, then about 10 days for Divvy, if I heard right in his interview. CEO said that big announcements on it. Yes. Listen, Finger, he said there's a lot of great things they have coming up. And he did say they needed capital to make some of them happen. I get it. But I'm just not worried about Finger at all, guys. I really am not. I thought he sounded, I mean, if you watch that, like, body language matters, voice matters. Martin Shen was very confident as he spoke to William. Okay, he did not seem like he was a guy with who was afraid of where they're going. He seemed very confident where they're going. He seemed very proud of the company he's building with his team. And so I'm just telling you, I think Finger, this dividend, they'll figure it out. It'll get done, and then we'll see if things start really shifting. So. Miners look good today too. People are going, it's flight to safety there. Flight to safety. So, hentai. What are you talking about? What are we talking about? Hentai? Ew. Keep buying so they can dilute again. On GameStop? I mean, I don't. Why are we talking about buying GameStop? I just said if it gets down to 10, I might buy some up for long term. So that's all I was talking about. I'm not playing it. It's not a short squeeze stock for me. Trust me. I'm done with GameStop as a short squeeze stock anytime in the near future. So Travis says yen carry trade is dead. So next market to get exposed will be treasuries and will collapse faster than most think. I agree with you. Yeah. 10-year and 20-year bond going higher, 2 and 3 month bond going wrong way. You day trade, you're no holder, sell vault. There you go. So yeah, I mean, listen, the market is. We have not seen a market crash in the summer that I can remember. I don't think it was, I mean, I'm pretty sure '08 was the fall. Well, no, I know '08 was the fall. 2020 was the fall. 87 was the fall. So I don't know. I mean, that's one of the reasons nobody is expecting this now. But things have been very volatile the last 2 weeks. And we're seeing it here. I mean, we're seeing it with Japan right here. I mean, this is crazy. We're seeing it with the yields. I mean, you don't get many spikes like this quickly. So there's a lot of volatility going on there. What's interesting is the prices in the stock market have been kind of more steady, although red tomorrow, and I don't know why. I don't know what's going on, any news there. But I've seen several people in the last couple days believing that we might have hit the peak of the market. It might have peaked and it might be turning. Now, I don't always jump on those things because it's usually just random people trying to make a guess. But these are people that I think are very smart and they follow a lot of the indicators. And so I'm watching very carefully to see where this starts heading. Because when you see stuff like this, those are red flags. Those are red flags. And if the market's slow right now, because it's summertime and this is still happening, but that also means there's less people to man the ship if it starts going down. So I don't know, guys, but if the market turns bad sharply, anybody who's shorted and trapped is very good for us. So, all right, let me see here. I mean, here's a sign right here of the economy. Hardship withdrawals from 401k plans rocket nearly 40% as savers fight to save their homes. This is 2 days ago. Hardship withdrawals from 401k plans nearly 40% up. Things are bad and accumulating fast. It's getting crazy out there. Alan says, with higher long end interest rates means higher inflation. Oh, sure. You mean Fed interest rates or the interest rates because of the bond market? What's up? So now what? Waiting for gold and silver to rocket. People have been claiming a market crash coming since a major dip mid-COVID. Well, you're not wrong, best of the rest. You're not wrong at all. But what I'll say to that is that people, our fundamentals have been completely effed up since the financial crisis, since 2008-09. Our fundamentals have been jacked up. They didn't fix anything. They kicked the can down the road. They just pumped the market full of money. So yes, people have been saying a crash is coming for years. And the reason why is because the fundamentals say it's coming. It's all pointing towards it because this is unsustainable. We are on an unsustainable path. What everybody's been wrong about was how long they could keep it up. But here's the problem. For a while, the economy was getting better. Even with the market fundamentals being out of whack, the economy was getting better. Trump, when he came into office and deregulated things so quickly and passed the tax cuts so quickly, put on the tariffs, brought a bunch of manufacturing back to America, that sped up the economy. And that pushed off, again, all these issues. But now, with COVID, what we did with COVID, because Biden came in right as COVID was ending, we just pumped again. So they brought back a bunch of new regulations. They undid a lot of what Trump did, and they pumped everything up with a massive acceleration of cash and debt. And what they did is that all those things that were holding the market up, holding the economy up for so long, they pushed it so hard and they made that bubble so much bigger that now everything's starting to break. And it is starting to break. We haven't seen the market crash yet, but the economy is starting to break. And the economy doesn't break without a market crash. Okay? They always accompany each other. So as the economy breaks and it finally gets to a point where it's completely broken, and in my opinion, that's definitely coming, then the market crashes. So yeah, you're right. And you could say like, boy cry wolf, boy cry wolf, boy cry wolf. And then you can be the townsfolk who stop listening. And then the boy cries wolf, and then the wolf actually comes. And that's kind of what I'm like. I'm like, there's a reason they've been crying wolf this whole time. It's going to happen at some point. Martin said fingers turning into a data consumer lifestyle. Data consumer lifestyle? What's that mean? Retail investors save the market? I don't know about that. I don't know about saving the market. They definitely helped for sure, but I don't think they were enough to save it by themselves. Martin Shan would not bother talking live to shareholders for over an hour just to deliver bad news. Something's coming soon. I completely agree, Gretchen. I think it's strategic. I also think the release of the earnings timing was strategic too. Alan, bond market, Japan sending signals to U.S. selling us. Yeah. Good luck. We won't. Yep. Japan needs dollars for oil, energy, resources, selling U.S. bonds, getting dollars. 100%, Alan. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. All right, hold on a second here. Okay. What was this one? Okay, so I'm going to shift gears a little bit here, guys. Oh, wait, nope, not quite done yet. AI stocks face brutal Q2 earnings day of reckoning. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this real quick, is that the AI bubble is already starting to pop. We've seen NVIDIA struggling to hit those highs again, like where it was at, struggling to hold that. And the other AI stocks earnings are starting to come in. What's starting to happen, in my opinion, is that the consolidation is coming to AI. Right now, there are a million AI companies. They're all over the place. Just go to, there's an AI for that.com. It's wild. I talk about this on my financial class on Patreon about how there's like AIs for so many different things, and you can just do so much online with AI. It's absolutely wild. But there's too much. There's too much. It's just like the dot-com bubble, where there's upstarts everywhere, and a bunch of them are just starting these companies hoping to get bought by the bigger companies. Well, the consolidation is starting to come because there's been all this money pumping into these companies to, money raises, just investment. And a lot of them are not turning profit because there's just not enough. There's not enough people into the AI craze yet to be paying for all these companies out there. They're all their subscription models and everything. It's nuts, guys. It's absolutely nuts. So the hype, it's starting to become to the point where like AI is starting to catch where we're starting to figure out what's useful, what's not, what's getting better, what's not. It doesn't mean there won't be more breakthroughs, but we're starting to hit into that. Okay. And it's starting to consolidate. As it consolidates, the bubble will pop. Because all the speculation, the bubble is created by speculation. Once the speculation's gone and everybody kind of realizes what it actually is, pop. Once the AI bubble pops, the market crashes because NVIDIA is holding up the market right now. AI is holding up the market. And here it is. We're seeing it already. It's starting to happen. AI stocks face brutal Core 2 earnings day of reckoning. Zero Hedge, great article. Go read it. But you can see just the downtrend here from where we've been. 2021 is just going the expected versus actual. You see how the actual is higher expectations, the dots. And now we're starting to... Oh, you can't see it because the title stuff. But anyways, worth reading the article, looking at that. But I'm telling you guys, it's starting to change. And that could really accelerate market red. What's up, Brenda? Good to see you too. Chase, use AI to take the test to get your last job very lucrative. You use AI to take the test, like cheating on it? AI bubble is coming upon us. You think it's going up? You don't think NVIDIA is already in a bubble? Thoughts on Wolf? I don't know what I think about Wolf right now. Bitcoin is really stabilized. I don't think... I know Wolf has a huge short against it. I don't know if Bitcoin's going to turn around quickly enough in the short term to make Wolf exciting for me. Futures are turning ugly. Are they getting worse? It hasn't changed that much. By the way, speaking of that, yeah, Bitcoin's still down these levels. I mean, I want to see Bitcoin make a big run before I get excited on Wolf. I didn't pay attention to the last halving. Do you guys know if it took this long on the last halving for Bitcoin to start really going back up again in a major way? I don't know. I'm asking. A bunch of AI companies stuck back holding NVIDIA chips. No joke, man. I think that's coming. Best of the rest. How does one invest with a anticipated crash? Those with some cash can't keep it in banks. You're in the market. You put away $5,000 a year in I bonds, hedge to buy the market crash. And not cheating enhanced. I like it. There you go. Spoken like an outside the box thinker right there. Best of the rest. So I think it's impossible to have 100% plan that's just guaranteed to be perfect on investing against an anticipated crash. The only thing you can definitely do is move to safety. And that's the way you store your wealth and might not gain from it. But if you're hoping to gain from a crash, what you have to do is find what like the big short guys did. You find the thing that will be that will basically go opposite of the crash. And in my opinion, the that is right now in a lot of these short squeeze stocks where they're trapped. Okay. Ignore GameStop and AMC. I just have these up here because I'm watching them. But I think DJT and Finger are absolute monsters that could be triggered by a market crash because we know the short positions in these are huge. They're naked short positions and they're trapped, which means they have no way out. So when a market crash happens, they'll be forced to buy in because they'll have nobody covering for them anymore. Nobody helping them avoid margin calls. People will need banks and hedge funds, and brokers will need liquidity. Where will they go for that liquidity? They'll go to the short sellers who owe them a bunch of money. So that will cause a squeeze. And then ZJYL and GDC, from what I know, same thing. I think I'm not as confident in these, but I know people who are. So, and then GTII, I am very confident also will have a major run. This one has been killed by bad management, making horrible decisions, but the short is still there and they're still trapped. So that's a lot of my thesis. I've run this through with a lot of Wall Street people. They all agree that it's a very strong thesis, that it's what should happen. And even ChatGPT, I run against there. So that's how I'm investing against the crash. Because to me, I want a big short scenario. I want to be able to take advantage of something that happens maybe once in a lifetime, or should only happen once in a lifetime. It'll happen twice in my lifetime right now, but it should be a once in a lifetime opportunity. And so that's, I'm just going for it. I am. But like I always say, it's not financial advice, and I don't invest more than I can afford to lose, because it is a risk. It is a risk. I just think it's a very calculated risk. Oh, Main Street's in pumping NVIDIA. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think Kramer, when Kramer's pumping something, it's going to be bad. 3 to 6 months after halving is when Bitcoin price accelerate from your understanding. Okay, so we're in month 3 now. What do I know about XRP? I think XRP really starts to take off once BRICS gets its currency going. Put your money in cash. There you go. Yeah, Chase, DJT is not a fundamental play for me. Truth Social is not profitable. It's small, relatively speaking, for social media. I'm not doing that for. I'm not holding for Truth Social reasons. I'm holding because there's a massive, massive short position in it. And also because Trump and Devin Nunes, especially Nunes, the CEO, are fighting back against corruption on Wall Street and naked short selling. And that's why, also it's got a massively faithful shareholder base in MAGA. So you take all those things and you get a stock that's just designed for a massive short squeeze. It's kind of like a GameStop, honestly, in a lot of ways. Back in 2021, it's got a similar setup in a lot of ways, although it could go much higher. Alan, Ace Panic will set in, everything will drop. Can I hold? The answer? Of course I can hold. I mean, dude, I've held. Are you kidding me? My emotions are dead now. I've held GTII from $1.90 to 10 cents. I mean, come on, man. I'm not afraid. Listen, Love Stars, I get it, but you know what changes a man's opinions on a stock like Kitty with GameStop, believing in it long term? What will change your opinion on something very quickly is betrayal. And if he feels that Ryan Cohen betrayed him with those offerings, he'd be happy to say, F you, I'm out, and take his money. So I don't know. I can't say if that's what happened or not, but that will change your mind fast. Al, some banks will remain valid. I think I may receive Social Security checks. Oh, there will be banks that survive. Absolutely. I think the big banks will survive, most of them. Truth has about 10 million members, took Facebook. Yeah, but the problem is Truth is not still growing. That's the problem with Truth. I don't believe in Truth Social as a platform long term. I just don't. I think Twitter, once Elon took over, took all the momentum away from Truth Social. But it doesn't mean it won't always kind of be around and stay small, all that. But it's not the members that matter, Butters. It's the activity. And the activity on Truth Social has significantly gone down since Twitter opened up more. If you look for a similar example, look at Threads. Threads opened as a competitor to Twitter, got like 200 million its first month. They were saying, oh, it's a Twitter killer. And now Threads is dead. Nobody's on Threads except a bunch of liberals who are too weak to be on Twitter. Payroll checks. That's right, Al. Best of the rest. Legit people take a look at I-bonds. Yep. Mini hedge, absolutely. News that Finger had bad numbers. Finger's last earnings was not great. At some time, DJT will release its streaming platform. You're a beta tester for it. That's awesome. I mean, if that turns out real, then maybe I'll have something. I'd love to see it merge with like Rumble. Something like that could be significant. I'd love to have like a free speech combo place that's just awesome. I would love to see that. I would love to see Truth grow. But one of the reasons it's not going to grow is it's not as appealing as a lot of other places are, at least right now. Now that could change, but just as I'm seeing it right now, Twitter is doing such a great job. Most people just aren't going to go to Truth. Northwest, listen to all the Kitty may have sold or not. He's in the middle of the Kansas City Shuffle play designed to make hedge funds get exposed. We'll see, Northwest. I have my doubts, but we'll see. We'll see. The thing is like the speculation is it's just hard to believe it when everything points to something bad of happening to shareholders that killed it. And so there's just a lot of guesswork now. And I just don't like guesswork. I just don't. What made me initially get into GTII? Lou versus Wall Street. He was talking about it right as I got out of AMC when they did the ape debacle. I got out of AMC and I found GTII thanks to Lou. And right after getting into GTI, I ran to $9, and I did not sell. I should have, and then I would have bought back in, but I should have taken profits. But I just knew the story was going to be. His story was great. His story still is great overall. So, but that's how I got in initially, and then I met Ham and William, guys who know the story inside and out, and Finger and everything, and just they turned out to be the real deal. And just great guys. They've educated me on a lot of great things and interesting things. And then everybody I know who like on Wall Street, like long-term trader types, people who used to work there. Pedro from Philly's one, which you wouldn't know. He's a Twitter guy. But anyways, they all looked at it and said the same thing, that it's got massive potential if it ever breaks. So I've stayed. Trump Media Technology Group think the name says a lot. They'll scoop up failing fake news orgs and social media assets. Now, I agree with that. I think TMTG as a holding company or as a growth stock, there's a lot of potential there. Absolutely. Yeah, R.I.P. Lou, I know. Looking for the voice in the wilderness. JP, you remember the first one to talk about GTI was CSI. I've never heard of CSI. He explained about the dividend. Huh, interesting. You mean the warrants? That would have been the warrant time. Honey, to be honest, disappointing Finger didn't reach profitability this quarter. Martin made it sound like last quarter his income didn't count because of dates. Yeah, me too. I was. Yeah, absolutely. You got profits on GameStop and DJTI. Nice. I'm still very bullish on Finger. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. But they did say there was a hold. He said there was a hold up in the country on something. So, speaking of banks saying they're profitable, I mean, this is a great post. Banks run the country. This is an old. From 2016, Citigroup chose Obama's 2008 cabinet, WikiLeaks document reveals. So there you go. The banks, they definitely run the Uniparty, which is the Republicans who are sold out, which is a lot of them, and pretty much the entire Democratic Party. So there you go. Those banks, it's going to be very hard for them to fail, especially because they're just absolutely massive. All right. I want to finish just a couple things. Talk about this because this has been kind of fun. So many of you guys tell me Biden's going to be replaced. Me trying to hold my fort down and saying I don't think so. And I saw this today. Bloomberg. Democratic National Committee is considering formally nominating Biden as early as mid-July to ensure the president's on November ballots while helping to stamp out inter-party chatter of replacing him. This is from the DNC. Potential date for Biden's nomination is July 21st, when the DNC's Credentials Committee meets virtually, according to people familiar with the matter, spoken condition of anonymity. Panel is meeting to finalize procedures before the party's convention in Chicago starts on August 19th. You know why they got to do that? Because there's a couple states that are that set their ballot date before this, their ballot deadline. And so they can't wait till then. I'm telling you guys, they're such a mess. They're such an absolute mess. I just don't see him getting replaced. It's but the more and more it goes, it's just hard. It's hard to imagine. But you still think Hillary Clinton and Newsom? Yeah, I just don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. Although it was interesting in that Saturday Night Live skit that Newsom wasn't mentioned. But by the way, Northwest, you did a great post here. I want to share it. Finger's been ascending channel, lower highs, lower lows since the 29th of April. 192 level hit 20th March. Wondering if it will dead count bounce down to 192 for double bottom or break back up to 260s. That was a great post. Yeah. I mean, enough said. It definitely could bounce back there. This made me laugh. He ain't going to take no cognitive test. Are you kidding me? He gets a physical exam. First president in history to refuse a cognitive test. Oh, my God. It's unbelievable what we're watching here. Biden crime family urges Joe to hang in there. His family tells him to keep fighting as they huddle at Camp David. This is just too funny. This is New York Times. I'm loving every second of this. This is just insanity. It's just insanity, everything that's happening out there. And then last but not least, I just wanted to show you guys what's happened since the debate. Look at the spread in the betting averages for president since the debate. Look at that drop off for Biden. Unreal. I'm telling you, the better Vegas always knows. Vegas always knows. There are now polls in New Jersey and New Hampshire that show Trump leading in those states. If they have to fight for the Northeast, send resources up there, this is so done. It's so done. Unbelievable. You're welcome, Northwest. If the class action against Kitty's dropped 24 hours as a file, was the point filing? Was it a class action? I think it was just one guy. Read General Flynn's article on X about Pres VP replacement shenanigans in history. Huh. Okay, I'll look at that later. As Nevada ballot deadline passes, more votes for Trump. Exactly. Biden doesn't need a cognitive test. People vote for him to. Your guess on the Kitty lawsuit drops, they were talked out of it because Discovery would kill the shorts. I don't know. I think it was just thrown out by the judge. I don't think it was dropped. If anything, you'd see a new VP running with Biden. Hope would be a new VP would bring new votes. Yeah, I definitely, Butters, I 100% agree with you. I think that is much more likely. But just like Alan says, Harris won't let it happen. I agree. And this is the one thing she knows how to do, man, is get promoted and hold it. She gets some of that hawk Tua going, and she just seems to rise up the ranks. I'm just saying. Money they collected can't be sent somewhere. You're right. That that Obama, I believe, is Michelle Obama. So that's why it can be on there. Why is nobody noticing 9 million is not 6% Stewie shares? Really? Is that true? Well, they just did a share buyback, and I think that's when it said that became the 6%. Government the last 4 years has been a nightmare. Fraud and con show needs to come. It's coming to an end. Guys, think about this. July 1st, August, September, October, 5 days later, November 5th. We have 4 months and 4 days until the election. That is nuts. Nuts. And if anything, we're seeing what an absolute mess the Democratic Party is. I don't think they're going to be able to pull off any of these grand plans they have they just waited too long. They let themselves get in too deep a mess, and now they can't find their way out of it. It's amazing. It's amazing to watch. Can you selling Gamestop at 25 to go all in on dog food? Yeah, right. I mean, listen, man, it's about making money, right? DFE filed used to make news. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like Brand, even a blind squirrel finds a nut every. Good job, Joe. Fill the diaper quickly. It is going to get wild. I totally agree with you. I know. I can't wait for November. You guys better believe when November comes, election night, I'm going to do the biggest live I've ever done. I'm going to go I'll just be sitting in front of here all night. We'll have good drinks, have some snacks, and we're going to do live election coverage all night. It's going to be so fun. I can't wait. It'll be me, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, all competing. and I think that you guys probably get the most honest takes, right, watching me. New VP's Dems only way out. Hillary for VP, declare Biden until next year VP. I think that's probably what they're thinking. But this is the most interesting and best part about the VP issue. He has to win. He cannot win. It's not going to happen. I'm telling you right now, that debate was such a mistake on their part. They thought they were being clever. They thought that because they don't think these things through. They thought that they'd have time to get Biden out, that if he failed, they thought that with all the new rules, with that debate, they thought it was going to mess Trump up. They thought they got too smart for themselves, and it backfired on them. And I have no doubts of that now. At first, I was wondering, is this what they wanted? I don't think it is. The more I'm watching this mess they're in, the panic they're having, that is not what they wanted. And so I think they just messed up. They messed up. They thought by doing it earlier, I think they thought Biden might be better than he was. That he, by moving it up, they were taking less risk in him declining more into the fall. And when Trump wiped the floor with them, and it also let the cat out of the bag that Biden's gone. I mean, have you watched Biden since then? He did the North Carolina rally. He talked tonight. He's like up and at 'em. He's like fiery. They're pushing hard now to correct the narrative that came out of everybody seeing him on the debate. They messed up. They moved it early I just think that, and I think the media was like, oh my God, what have we done? And they all freaked out and called for a replacement before realizing they can't do it. This is no way to make it happen. Am I in North Carolina? Yes, Alan, I am. They need cognitive test. Live voting booth coverage by, not the voting booth, no. I'll be here though. Biden's not what the doctor word, not at all. No, these are the wildest times, JJ. We've never seen anything like this in our lives. It's absolutely crazy. So, oh yeah, I'm voting for Mark Robinson. I like him. I'm excited. I can't wait to have North Carolina be even more red than it already is. But I mean, just look at the betting markets, guys. This doesn't correct, okay? And on top of this, not only are they just screwing everything up, the polls now are just so insane. There is no way they could cheat enough to overcome. If the polls are even within 10% of being right, they can't cheat enough to overcome. I mean, look at this change. And this isn't even everything up to date yet. Okay, but look at the swing. When did we last go over this? It was just the other night, I think. Trump was up 1.9. He's gained 0.3 in the aggregate since then. Look at all the red. The last time Biden led in a poll was the 17th. And +2 for a Democrat does not win an election. But this is just nuts, guys. He's 2.2 right now. Biden at the same time 4 years ago was +9.4. That is an 11.6 point swing. That is crazy. That is crazy. And Trump, even with the whatever, He lost that election barely, barely, and now he's swung almost 12 points the other way. They can't cheat enough. They barely could pull it off last time. So, ever since COVID, it's crazy stuff. That's so true. They miscalculated the medication or timing of it that night. That's definitely true. Thought that they can make Trump even worse. When you're street savvy, what happens is you welcome that so you can prove your point. Psychology 101 turned on by 100% turned on. I agree with that, yeah. Grok says the Roaring King suit was withdrawn. It was withdrawn. Wait, it was withdrawn? I thought it was thrown out. Well, whatever. Doesn't matter. They gave him a spray tan tonight. I know. You think Robinson president in the future? We'll see. We'll see. He has to be a governor first and do a good job first. Then I'll start paying attention to that. See the TikTok of a woman called DHS to report elder abuse by Joe Biden. No, that's hilarious. He's looked better since debate because he has a teleprompter. Bait, think off the cup. That's where it becomes so obvious. Doug, I think you're partially right on that, but I don't think the teleprompter changes the energy level, and his energy level is just much higher since that night. By the way, Trump's not only going against Biden. Okay, so here's the spread when you add everybody else. 3.5. That's how much he leads by. There's not many polls doing this, but still. That, if you take that into consideration, we're up to almost a 13-point swing. Unbelievable. So unbelievable, man. Just crazy. Pivo, you think we have two bad choices? I couldn't disagree more. I think Trump's the best choice we could possibly have as Republicans right now, considering who else is out there. I love it. I think he was the best president of my lifetime, even better than Reagan. And I cannot wait to have him back in office. I want Trump right now more than anybody. I want to see this last 4 years, and I'm very excited to have him. So I know the two bad choices thing is kind of fun right now for everybody to say because they don't like Trump, but they don't want to admit they'll vote Biden or something. Then they come up with that, but I could not disagree more. We get what we deserve. We don't deserve better as a country, Ron. That's the point. Is we dug this mess. We created this mess. The people did not get involved in politics for so long. We just turned our head. We said, don't talk politics and religion at the table. Only the two most important subjects in the world. And we just didn't talk about it. And the left just took over our country without us watching. So we got what we deserved. We didn't teach our kids morality. I mean, I do, but another generation didn't. And so we got what we deserve. This is what happens, but we got a fighter who's going to turn things around in Trump. And so saw on Twitter, Kamala Harris worried Democrats will replace Biden with white candidate. That's such a Democrat thing. Trump's waiting because no one wants his VP to be president. His VP, Trump doesn't have a VP yet. Yeah, I think I think Trump's even better than Reagan, honestly. Not as good a communicator, not as good a politician, but when it's all said and done and we look at what he did for our country, he'll be better than Reagan. CNN cutting off Biden during the debate. I know, it's hilarious. They just didn't want him to keep rambling. And then they also had to keep reminding him he had more time. It's so funny. Argentina president, inflation down, food to zero, cut tons of government jobs. Absolutely, I agree. Uniparty sellout to UN, WF, Holt mega states. I agree completely. I do think it will. I have such hope for the future. Think about this. We're breaking. So they built what they built in our country, in the world, the shadow party, the cabal, whatever you want to call them, the WEF, whatever. They built all that in the shadows because there was no one calling them out. There was very few media people who would do it, and they were always pushed off to the side. And then the internet was just barely a thing. in the last 20 years. But for the first 50, 60 years they were taken over, I wasn't there. And so what happened is the internet has just made it easier and easier. We've gotten better at disseminating information. We've gotten better at finding what's real. We've been better and better at understanding it all. And the people have just been waking up a little bit at a time, a couple of bumps. Really, COVID really opened it up. Trump really woke people up. And we all of a sudden face these major catastrophes like COVID with information all of a sudden available to us that was never available to us before. And so it changed everything. And so they won't be able to rebuild. That's the thing. Once this is broken, once we get them out, once the people take back the country, it'll never go back the way it was before. It can't, because too many people know too much now. It's too easy to get the truth out now. It's too easy to spread the real information now. That was never a thing before. They controlled all of it. And what they didn't control, they eventually did get in and push out. And now they don't have that anymore. It's all gone. So that's why I have so much hope going forward. I think once this is gone, once we're on that road, there's no turning back. There'll be bumps for sure, but I think America is going to enter its best days. I really do. PSA video of Bo Biden calling report. Oh God, no, I didn't see that. They used Bo. That's messed up. Jordan, why would anybody vote for them at this point? Any Democrats in the chat can honestly answer. You guys don't have to answer that. But there's a lot of people who just hate Trump. And, some of it's because of his way of talking and being rough and crude and crass and intense. And some of it's because they've just been told lies, like he's a dictator or whatever, and they're scared. But nobody's voting for Biden because they like him. They're voting because they're terrified of what could happen without him, because they believe what the media has told them about Trump. Just getting in now. I have a finger today. We're down big today, but I do think the turnaround could happen fast. So his like and bottom subscribe. Thanks, Brett. Yeah, please hit like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I lost like 10 subscribers today. I think people didn't like my GameStop video saying Kitty might have betrayed us. So, so yeah, I got to make that back up. But anyways, I appreciate it, guys. And member lives will be back this weekend. So we'll get the members back into it. I still have 2 classes I got to do this week for Patreon, because I'm running behind because of my vacation. So guys, don't worry. The financial class and the spiritual class are both coming this week. I will get those done, and I'll announce them. So why didn't DJT go up today? It went up a little bit, but I think it could go up more. I think the rest of the week will be fine on DJT. I really do. Thing about Univest time. Well, I think Univest deal was, they were like, it's basically a year to act. We'll see what happens. So they have 2.5 hours. So Trump's VV, president of El Salvador. Oh, Jack. All right. Caught up. You're welcome. Oh, thanks, Jack. You like the short news shots? All right. What about the 3-step dismount after the debate where he misses has to help? I know. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Even with the buyback, 9 million shares, only 2% of Chewy. Interesting. So why did he have to file that form? Is all of that free float? I don't know. I don't understand that. But he had to file that he was a stakeholder, 6%. So I don't know. That's interesting. I'll have to look more into that, see if more info comes out. But all right, guys, I got a call tonight. I got work tomorrow. But by the way, since it was just mentioned, did you guys like those news shorts I do sometimes in the middle of the day, like today? Because I think I might start doing that again every once in a while. Because it's not that hard for me to do, and it's kind of fun. So if you guys like that, I might keep doing that. But in other words, where's the link to join my members page? It should be join right next to the subscribe button on YouTube. Now, if you have an Apple device, they remove the join button because they don't like that Google doesn't give them profits if you join through an Apple. So if you're on Apple, you have to go to Safari. By the way, Apple's the devil. If you have Apple, you have to go to your Safari browser, go to desktop mode, then go to my YouTube channel. You can join from there. It's a mess, man, but that's how you got to do it. You guys like that? Okay. All right. I'll try to keep those up whenever something big happens. It's kind of fun. You filed to tell the hedge funds he's not capped. I like that. You're welcome, Robert. Thank you. Can I imagine Biden Newsom ticket? One craps a pants, the other one craps on a state. I like that. That would there would be some great stuff there with Newsom and Kimberly Guilfoyle fighting over her with Trump Jr. There you go. You know, he was married to Kimberly Guilfoyle, who is now Trump Jr. or yeah, Trump Jr. is Don Jr.'s fiance. So okay, you guys liked the shorts. Okay. Good appetizer before the meal. I like that. That's fun. Cool. All right. I love it. I will do them then. So, all right, guys. Well, please like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Join if you want. It's $3 a month for extra content. And it supports the channel so I can keep this going. So I really appreciate it. The guys, the support means so much to me. Trust me. I could not do this without you guys. I really couldn't. I mean, I'd still do content, but there's no way I could make the time to do this. I just couldn't. And so you guys make that possible. So I greatly appreciate you guys for that. And also on the Patreon, if you want to do the deep dive classes I'm doing, that's another way you can support me doing content so I can keep doing this more and more and just get better and better for you guys, because that's the plan. Just get better and better. And so we're all smarter, on top of things, richer, all that fun stuff. That's the goal. But all right, I'm going to finish, close out in a prayer, and then I'm going to take off. So, all right. Father God, thank you for today. Bless everybody here, Lord. Thank you for this amazing group. And God, I just pray for your wisdom and protection as we go through this crazy season, both politically and in the market. I pray you help us make wise decisions in our investments, God, so we can all profit going forward. And just thank you for all you're doing. The amazing Supreme Court decisions that have been coming down. Thank you for that. And thank you for just the exposure on with Biden and his mental capacity, and just that all this stuff of people trying to control us and control their narrative, that's all just being busted apart. And I thank you that that's all happening. So we pray for justice in our nation, justice in the markets, and that everybody here is blessed and better every day, every month going forward, every year going forward. In Jesus' name, amen. Bless you guys. Love